I do have written testimony, so I will just summarize and then turn in the testimony. Chairman Creedon, Chairman O'Flaherty, members of the committee, thank you for taking our testimony. I would like to address, first of all, H1787, a bill to require informed consent for a woman considering an abortion. Throughout our nation, any medical procedure has a requirement, at least I can't come up with any that does not have a requirement for full informed consent for the risks, the alternatives, the long-term problems possible other than abortion. What is ironic is that the very people who are promoting abortion as a right for free choice for a woman is also fighting tooth and nail to make sure that that choice is fully informed. And a fully informed, a choice that is not fully informed is not a true choice. Many of these women are pressured into having an abortion by a boyfriend, family, other group, a predator, and they require a timeout to get out from under that pressure. This bill would allow a 24-hour waiting period from the time of application for an abortion. So this is just a common sense asking that the rules that apply to all other medical procedures also apply to abortion. I would like to also testify in opposition to H1735, which would repeal the minimal requirement for parental consent or judicial bypass. Across the nation, underage girls are being sexually victimized, then taken to abortionists by the sexual predator to destroy the evidence of their crime. Planned Parenthood and the National Abortion Federation were exposed by Life Dynamics of Texas, who legally called over 800 clinics representing a 13-year-old girl who said she had been impregnated by an adult. Despite acknowledging that they were legally obligated to report the situation to the state, 91% of those 800 facilities agreed to illegally conceal it. Planned Parenthood is being investigated in Kansas and Indiana for such crimes, and they are trying to hide behind the privacy rights of the child, which is, in my mind, just mind-boggling. In Massachusetts, under the current law, abortionists know which judges will automatically rubber stamp the request for an abortion, thereby bypassing the parental consent, the consent of one parent for an abortion. In the past, it required two parents, but that law was challenged, and it was partially changed to make it one parent. But that is just a minimal requirement to protect children. This is a vestige of protection from sexual predators and from fiscal predators, and I ask that the law not be repealed. Thank you. H1734 and S813 would repeal certain laws protecting women from illegal abortions. Most abortions are now legal for all 9 months of pregnancy. However, there is still a residue of protection. And is the attempt to repeal even this small number because abortionists don't want any unborn children in an unplanned pregnancy to escape? This bill would allow new and dangerous ways to generate an abortion, including unregulated, unsupervised, self-inducing abortion kits. Yesterday we saw in the news that there was a baby who was on his way to being delivered, and he arrived before they got to the hospital. Now the police came to the aid and delivered that baby, and there was just universal rejoicing. And that's the natural, that is what life is about. On the other hand, since the judicial fiat of the Supreme Court in 1973, there have been approximately 50 million unborn children put to death. We're schizophrenic as a society. I would also like to testify regarding H1439 and H1568, which has to do with nursing mothers in public. Now, what we would suggest is amending this bill to simply require a modicum of discretion. And Representative Paul Frost did mention that he was amenable to some language. We've proposed specific language which would, whenever it refers to breastfeeding a child, add the word discreetly before that. So it then becomes a phrase, discreetly breastfeeding a child. And then we have suggested a definition to be added to the law for discreetly breastfeeding a child. H1709 would repeal the sexual ethics laws. This bill comes up every session, and we've testified against it for years. It would repeal a whole host of laws, some of which are obviously out of date, like the one prohibiting vendors selling their wares or taking care of horses within a mile of a camp meeting. I mean, yes, okay, fine, no problem. You want to take that one out? Okay. But there are others, such as eliminating the laws dealing with tramps, vagrants, and vagabonds. Now, those terms may not be used anymore, but the definition of a vagabond is a person known to be a pickpocket, thief, or burglar acting in a suspicious manner in a crowded area. I mean, do we really want to delete that law and prevent the police from arresting such a person or taking action? I don't think so. This bill would also delete the laws against adultery and fornication. Now, these laws have not been enforced for a long time. But what is the message we send if we repeal those laws? Marriage needs protection from outside seduction. Children need direction to channel their sexual drive into a marriage situation. Sex outside of marriage has caused inestimable harm to people and to society in terms of broken hearts, broken lives, children without fathers, crime, sexual disease, and all kinds of other problems, poverty. This bill would also eliminate protection from unlawful abortion for women, as I mentioned in the previous, in one of the earlier bills. So we ask that all of these bills ought not to pass except the one to provide true informed consent for a woman considering an abortion. Thank you.
Are there any questions at all of members of the panel? Seeing none, we would thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Breeden.